Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Tuesday, February 15th. And as you can see, the light behind me today is green. Markets looking strong today. Much of that on the back of kind of a reversal of that Russia-Ukraine news today. Quoting Vladimir Putin, he says, "We do not want war in Europe." Markets responding favorably to that. We'll dive into some technicals today as well as a whole lot more. Before we get started, CJ, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing much better. Obviously, that's very calming. I think anyone who is a global citizen of the world should feel good about that. Doing well. Excited to get into the BTC prices. Pretty much all markets rebounding here to start the day. So, how you doing, Monty?
Yeah, doing well, CJ, doing well. And like you said, feeling much better today. And Bitcoin's moving a little bit here on the back of this news. And Ethereum as well. I do want to dive into that. We haven't really talked about that ETH too much in the last week here, but going to dive into some ETH technicals as well. But, like we said, Bitcoin and Ether rise as Ukraine-Russia tensions appear to ease here a little bit. So markets responding favorably to that, not just crypto, obviously, but traditional equities as well. So all of that helps. But CJ, what do you say we start this off with some technicals here and dive into the Bitcoin chart?
Yes, it has been a gut-wrenching couple of days, especially from the bullish perspective.
Yeah.
But so we can see that we had just barely held the bullish macro trend or the bullish swing trend on the daily chart at that 8 to 22 EMA. Ever since, we're getting some bullish price action and we're still able to maintain the kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern, which can be quite bullish. It's going to be interesting if we go back and touch the 45K region. Obviously, that's been very strong resistance as well as support during the mid of this range throughout, our entire trend the past couple of years. So that's going to be very interesting to watch for, but very promising to see that Bitcoin has actually been able to hold this level. As you can see, this is clearly a shift in trend. So we'll see if it continues. Something I did want to take a look at, though, has to do with specifically just S&P and traditional markets. So just taking a brief look, everything's basically up 1% today. We still have kind of lower highs across the board, but nonetheless, we do have a higher low as well. So just something to consider there. Treasury yields still above 2. Getting a little bit of a bearish signal up here, momentum running out a little bit of bearish divergence on the RSI as well in some of these treasury yields. We'll see if that plays into any of the price action leading forward. But overall, everything's looking pretty strong to start the day. And I also wanted to just mention some really big news around Bitcoin exchange traded product in Europe. So
yes. Yes, absolutely. That headline making waves this morning, and that's Fidelity International debuts their Bitcoin exchange traded product, like you said, CJ, that lists on the Deutsche Börse Extra today, and also the Swiss exchange, the SIX, within the next couple of weeks here. So this is big. We always talk about how these sort of institutional on-ramps or, just more on-ramps in general for exposure to Bitcoin are very important. And this is a physical Bitcoin exchange traded product, and it tracks the price of Bitcoin by market value, and it's going to be made available by Fidelity for both their professional and institutional clients all throughout Europe. And Fidelity will custody the Bitcoin for their members, and it'll be trading under the ticker FBTC. Their fee will be about 0.75%. This is, like we said, big news. Anytime you get these sort of on-ramps for funds, institutions, big players, it could potentially act as a catalyst. So, that could be part of the reason why we're seeing such favorable price action this morning. But I would expect that, that's more of kind of a slow grind effect. Whenever we see these new on-ramps for exposure, it typically takes a while for the capital to start flowing in via those on-ramps. But I think ultimately, just another step in the right direction, speaks to the maturity of Bitcoin and just how far the space has come in the last decade.
Yeah, and I mean it's only a matter of time. If we see continued success with this particular exchange traded product. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that you'd said that there is 0.75% fees. That's like one of the lowest fee percentages for a lot of exchange traded products, especially in Europe. So quite interesting there. But if you see success, if you see popularization of that particular product in Europe, the more likely, in my opinion, that you're going to see it brought to the United States. In only a matter of time. So really bullish overall, just getting further and further exposure for potential large wealthy clients.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing I want to hit here, CJ. Just quickly hit the ETH charts. ETH is looking, very strong here today as we enter, the 9 o'clock hour, but pulling back a little bit. But one thing that encourages me a bit here, and I just wanted to quickly point out, is the fact that we managed to break above this critical level here of about, that 3K to 3050 level. We've seen a lot of sell pressure at this level. We've also seen it act as support. This is a highly critical level for ETH. And if you compare it to Bitcoin, kind of what we see, Bitcoin has this level above it still, this, critical level about 4,600 to, 45.5, where we saw some heavy sell pressure on these wicks just last week. Whereas when you compare that with ETH, we are kind of still approaching that level, but above this critical level here, whereas Bitcoin doesn't really have too much critical support until we go back down to that level we were teetering on last night at about 41.85. So a little bit more high conviction here with ETH, just because we're breaking above this critical level here, gives us a little bit of support to the downside. Like I said, we are hitting resistance here, but again, strong uptick in volume today, and overall the technicals are looking favorable. So going to keep my eye on ETH here, and again, I think we have a clear breakout level of about 3250, where we kind of hit this resistance here. Putting in a new lower high would be very bullish in my opinion. So just keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. But again, now that we're pulling back, I'm going to be watching for a possible bounce from this critical level established by this TD9 here at about $30,060. So if we get a retest here, and another bounce from this level, I'll be looking to perhaps enter a long trade, and ride this breakout above this lower high. So overall, I think ETH is looking favorable at these levels. Not just the candlesticks, but also the volume as well. So just wanted to put that on your radar as something to keep an eye on today. But as always, we'll go a little bit more in depth with some technicals on the Doge of the day. But CJ, anything else you want to add here for the Daily Crypto Byte?
No, that's it. If you'd like to see additional analysis as well as trade insights that Monty and I follow up on it each day, just check out the link in the description below. That is markrebellion.com/try crypto. And if you like the content that you see today, please like and subscribe. That helps us very much. But hope you guys have a wonderful day in the world wherever you're at. And we'll see you next time.